Section 16 of Reviews by Oscar Wilde. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please go to LibriVox.org. Reviews by Oscar Wilde, edited by Robert Ross. Section 16, Twelfth Night at Oxford, read by Patty Brugman. At Oxford, Dramatic Review, February 20th, 1886. On Saturday last the new theatre at Oxford was opened by the University Dramatic Society. The play selected was Shakespeare's delightful comedy of Twelfth Night, a play eminently suitable for performance by a club, as it contains so many good acting parts. Shakespeare's tragedies may be made for a single star, but his comedies are made for a galaxy of constellations. In the first, he deals with the pathos of the individual. In the second, he gives us a picture of life. The Oxford undergraduates, then, are to be congratulated on the selection of the play, and the result fully justified their choice. Mr. Bourchier as Festa the Clown was easy, graceful, and joyous, as fanciful as his dress and as funny as his bauble. The beautiful songs which Shakespeare has assigned to this character were rendered by him as charmingly as they were dramatically. To act singing is quite as great an art as to sing. Mr. Lechtimer Stewart was a delightful Sir Andrew, and gave much pleasure to the audience. One may hate the villains of Shakespeare, but one cannot help loving his fools. Mr. Macpherson was, perhaps, hardly equal to such an immortal part as that of Sir Toby Belch, though there was much that was clever in his performance. Mr. Lindsay threw new and unexpected light on the character of Fabian, and Mr. Clarke's Malvolio was a most remarkable piece of acting. What a difficult part Malvolio is! Shakespeare undoubtedly meant us to laugh all through at the pompous Stuart, and to join in the practical joke upon him, yet how impossible not to feel a good deal of sympathy with him! Perhaps in this century we are too altruistic to be artistic. Hazlitt says somewhere that poetical justice is done him in the uneasiness which Olivia suffers on account of her mistaken attachment to Orsino, as her insensibility to the violence of the Duke's passion is atoned for by the discovery of Viola's concealed love for him. But it is difficult not to feel Malvolio's treatment is unnecessarily harsh. Mr. Clarke, however, gave a very clever rendering, full of subtle touches. If I ventured on a bit of advice, which I feel most reluctant to do, it would be to the effect that while one should always study the method of a great artist, one should never imitate his manner. The manner of the artist is essentially individual. The method of an artist is absolutely universal. The first is personality, which no one should copy. The second is perfection, which all should aim at. Miss Arnold was the most sprightly Maria, and Miss Farmer a dignified Olivia. But as Viola, Miss Bewick was hardly successful. Her manner was too boisterous, and her method too modern. Where there is violence, there is no Viola. Where there is no illusion, there is no Illyria. And where there is no style, there is no Shakespeare. Mr. Higgins looked the part of Sebastian to perfection, and some of the minor characters were excellently played by Mr. Adderley, Mr. King Harman, Mr. Coningsby Disraeli, and Lord Albert Osborne. On the whole, the performance reflected much credit on the Dramatic Society indeed. Its excellence was such that I am led to hope that the University will some day have a theatre of its own, and that proficiency in scene painting will be regarded as a necessary qualification for the Slade professorship. On the stage, literature returns to life, and archaeology becomes art. A fine theatre is a temple where all the muses may meet, a second Parnassus, and the dramatic spirit, though she has long tarried at Cambridge, seems now to be migrating to Oxford. Thebes did her green and knowing youth engage, she chooses Athens in her riper age. End of Twelfth Night at Oxford, read by Patty Brugman.